الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا إله إلا الله اللهم رب هذه
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستنصره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله سبحانه وتعالى فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له قيوم السماوات والأرض شهادة الحق شهادة تقوم بها السماوات والأرض أرسلت من أجلها الرسل وأنزلت من أجلها الكتب وشهادة تطهر قلوبنا من الفسق والعصيان وشهادة تنجي قائلها بإذنه عز وجل من عذاب أليم وأشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا وقدوتنا في الأمور كلها محمدًا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه الذي بعثه رحمة للعالمين ليخرج الناس جميعا من ظلمات الكفر والضلال إلى نور الإيمان والهدى صلوات الله وسلامه دائمين متلازمين على هذا النبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه الكرام وكل من تبع هداه واستمسك بهديه إلى يوم الدين ثم أما بعد فيا عباد الله أوصيكم ونفسي بالتقوى فقد فاز المتقون إن الله تبارك وتعالى وصانا قائلا وتزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى واتقون يا أولي الألباب وقال يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون رسولنا صلى الله عليه وسلم وصانا قائلا اتق الله حيثما كنت واتبع السيئة الحسنة تمحوها وخالق الناس بخلق حسن. ثم قال عز وجل بعد أن أعوذ به من الشيطان الرجيم يريدون ليطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم والله متم نوره ولو كره الكافرون. معاشر المسلمين, respected brothers and sisters, in the beginning certainly we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for uncountable blessings. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless all of us and bless this gathering.
Amen.
May all of us here, not only physically but more importantly with our heart and mind, in remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, dhikrullah azza wa jalla. There's no doubt that our ummah is living in a very challenging moment, both domestically and globally. On global level, we are witnessing a very bitter moment of Muslims' life in many places of the world. From Syria to Iraq to Afghanistan to Myanmar, certainly our Palestinian brothers and sisters are still struggling to have their own freedom and independence. Muslims are massacred by anyone else, including by those who claim to be even better Muslim than ours. So we pray for them and we pray for us, and may Allah make it easy. Domestically speaking, Islamophobia is on the rise. The misperception, the hate, and the irrational fear of Islam and Muslims is on the rise. And I think as we are facing these facts in our life today, nothing that we can do except going back to remember the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as we are ending Rabi' al-Awwal. How Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did respond to such situation. During the 8th of his nubuwwat, it might be the pinnacle of the challenge that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam faced in Mecca. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a man possibly felt a kind of being stuck. He cannot move anywhere. People didn't want to listen to him anymore. People plotted to kill him. People boycotted his own family. His beloved uncle and his beloved wife passed away. In that kind of situation, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even became closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised him up to the heaven. Called Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. I'm not going to talk about this, just I want to remind myself and all of us that in time that we're facing difficulties, the first and the most important response that we have to take in life is to turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my khutbah today is going to be based on, or in the light of Surah As-Saff. Because Surah As-Saff basically is a surah that is talking about the struggle between the truth and the false, between the haqq and the batil. There is in the middle of that surah, Allah says, يُرِيدُونَ لِيُطْفِئُوا نُورَ اللَّهِ بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ وَاللَّهُ مُتِمُّ نُورِهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ. There are some people, it might be minority. There are some people. It's the fact that the Holy Quran tells us clearly. There are some people, they want to extinguish the light of Allah. They want to stop the shining light of the truth. بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ, with all kind of means that possible. In the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, certainly this is the physical mouths that they used, spreading rumors, false accusations against Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nowadays we have all kind of medias, particularly social media. They wanted to extinguish the light of Allah with their mouths. But persistently, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues His light, even those people don't like it. So Surah As-Saff basically is talking about this struggle between the shining light that continues and the willingness of some to stop. So how to respond in this kind of situation? Because brothers and sisters, there's no doubt, there's a paradox happening now. SubhanAllah, I mentioned about the challenge, deep challenge that we are facing. But Islam continues to be stronger. And as the people have predicted that no doubt, inshallah ta'ala, in 2050, Islam will become the largest religious groups in the world. Even at the moment, if you divide between Christian people into Protestant and Catholic, the Catholics are around 1.2 billion. Protestants around 800 million to 900 million people. But Muslims at least 1.6 billion. So it means that Islam basically is the largest religion in the world at the moment. So there is a paradox that in one hand people are trying to suppress and to stop the light, the original trio, but at the same time Islam continues to progress and develops. So let me go back. How then to face this challenge? Number one, I mentioned in Surah As-Saff, سبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. The importance for this ummah to come back to the real glory of Allah in life, in their lives. The glory that we have at the moment oftentimes is partial, limited by the limit of the walls of the masajid. In the masajid we say Subhanallah. We feel Allah is so great. We say Allahu Akbar in our salat. The moment we leave the masajid, the glory is left behind. And in the market, our own glory. The glory of our own desires and egoistic tendencies. If these Muslims wanted to be helped by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we have to be seriously taking back the glory of Allah into our hearts. And that is the meaning of Surah Jum'at. Even today, what we are doing at the moment. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله. Come to the remembrance of Allah. وذروا البيع. ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. Leave anything that makes you busy out there. Come to the remembrance of Allah. And then فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله. Again, واذكروا الله. The dhikrullah that we are obtaining at the moment must be carried out to the markets, must be carried out to our homes, must be carried out to our places, anywhere we go out to this. That is the meaning of real glory, sabbaha. Sabbaha lillahi ma fi samawati wa ma fi al-ard. Do not leave the glory behind when you leave this masjid. This is number one, my brothers and sisters. When we have the glory of Allah, then everything will be so small and easy in life. And I used to say to the brothers, subhanallah, just days after election of Donald Trump, there are many cases happens. In New York, a sister happened to be a lawyer, Indian origin, born in Long Island, New York. A day after the election, her own neighbor said to her, go back home. And a Tommy, born in New York, just happened to be originally from India, told to go back home. A police officer woman with hijab was insulted. An anti-gay worker was pushed in the stairs. These are challenges we are facing. But if we have the glory of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are not changed at all by any circumstance. Brothers and sisters, this is number one. If we have the glory of Allah, we will change the name from Muhammad to Noah, from Yunus to John. Keep your Islam and trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number two, my brothers and sisters, in responding to such tremendous challenge that we are facing at the moment, we must do self-introspection. That self-introspection will open our eyes into many shortcomings that we have, internally speaking. Internally speaking. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded us, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لم تقولون ما لا تفعلون كَبُرَ مَقْتًا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَن تَقُولُوا مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. Oh believers, why you say? Why you make your faith a slogan? But basically you don't prove it, you don't practice it. You don't show to the people the beauty of Islam. Let me just tell you this. If we just put our feet on the shoes of others, we are going to feel what they're feeling. Looking into the non-Muslim witnessing massacres by some Muslims in the name of Islam, what they're feeling. If we happen to be a non-Muslim and witnessing Muslims are doing bad things around, what kind of feeling they're going to feel? So one of the best ways to respond to this kind of situation is Muslims must really prove what does it mean to be a Muslim. When Allah says, لِمَ تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ, the very simple translation of that ayah is, prove it, just prove it. Islam is so beautiful. Islam is Allah's teaching. There is no shortcomings. But Muslims, not only that they have failed to represent Islam, oftentimes they have become the barrier between the beauty of Islam in the eyes of the people. Al-Islamu mahjubun bil-Muslimin. Islam had been hidden by the mispractices of the Muslims. And that's why, my brothers and sisters, the second one, Muslims must prove the beauty of the teaching. Just show it to our neighbors. What does it mean to be a good Muslim? What does it mean to be a merciful Muslim? Rahmatan lil alamin. What does it mean to be tabassumuka fi wajhi akhika sadaqa? Smiling faces, being humble, honest to everybody, helpful, kind. That's what Islam is all about. Prove it. And inshallah we can change the minds of millions. We can compete with Fox News. Number 3. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِهِ صَفًّا كَأَنَّهُمْ بُنْيَانٌ مَرْصُوصٌ. And one of the most important crises that Muslims are facing at the moment is the lacking of unity. Muslims are dividing themselves into many grounds. Oftentimes racial, ethnic grounds. What we do is we are so proud to be one ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In this religion, being determined a good or bad Muslim is not by skin color. Being respectful, honorable in the sight of Allah is not by your race, your ethnicity, your nationalistic background, but it's about your heart and your action. Inna akramakum 'inda Allahi atqakum. Brothers and sisters, unity is crucially needed by the Muslims at the moment. Especially when we are facing this tremendous Islamophobia, Muslims must come together in thinking about how to educate our neighbors. Moon sighting must not turn into moon fighting anymore. Moon sighting is not the ground for the Muslim in America to fight. Either it is to see it by your naked eyes, or you go through scientific calculation. It's not the time anymore. It's the time to come together and build unity. And unity, my brothers and sisters, is not uniformity. You cannot make everything same. You are going to have always a difference between yourselves. But even so, we have different opinions, we can still connect our heart. Ruhama. That rahmah is here. Rahmah is here in our heart. Our hearts are united by iman and faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is number 3, my brothers and sisters. Number 4. Allah then says in the Holy Quran, يُرِيدُونَ لِيُطْفِئُوا نُورَ اللَّهِ بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ وَاللَّهُ مُتِمُّ نُورِهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ. The word afwah is very crucial for the Muslims to understand at the moment. In other words, one of the most important jihad for Muslims to do in America is engaging the media. Engaging the media. How many parents, when I ask where your children are going, they say they are going to have law, studying engineering, studying pharmacy, to become a doctor. We don't have that many children studying media, journalism. And Islam had been so badly damaged by wrong portrayal in the media. Who is to take responsibility? Who is responsible? Us responsible. We don't expect Fox or CNN or ABC or NBC to change the image of Islam. It is us who are responsible to change it. There's only one way to do that, and that is to engage the media or to have our own media. But it's so difficult sometimes because it needs money. SubhanAllah. Money is there, but don't people see it's important. Media, my brothers and sisters, have been there since the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Holy Quran reminded us, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, in ja'akum fasiqun binaba'in fatabayyanu, means media had been the concern of the Holy Quran from the beginning of the Risalah, because it's mentioned in the Holy Quran. And that's why, my brothers and sisters, Muslims must engage in media. And as I said, if the people utilize media to portray Islam negatively, inshallah ta'ala, we can change millions of minds by engaging the media. Let me just tell you this one personal, simple story. Very humble story. A long time ago, I had an opportunity to meet with one of the most possibly prominent figure in America at the moment. I don't want to mention a name. And I came to his office along with my friend who happened to be an African-American, tall, big guy, because he wanted to meet with an Imam. So when we came to his office, he shook hands with my friend like this, and he said, "Where is the Imam?" So my friend said to him, "This is the Imam." So when he shook hands with me, he was laughing loudly. We sat down in his office, and he was asked by my friend, "Why did you laugh?" And this is what he said. I had never imagined that I'm going to meet in my life a Muslim can smile. So I asked him, "Mr. Such, I don't want to mention your name again, why did you say that? Why did you come to the conclusion that Muslims don't know to smile?" He said, "Because every time they turn on television, Muslims are angry. They wanted to fight. They wanted to come and take over America. So there's kind of fear and scare in their mind, in his mind." So he said, "That's what I see on television." So I said to him, since he is a prominent figure on the media, I said to him, "I've watched your show many times, and before I came to see you, I thought that you are an arrogant person. If I were to take a conclusion about you, such a respected person from the media, it is naive, deadly wrong. Similarly, Mr. Such, if you take the conclusion about 1.6 billion Muslims from the television, you are deadly wrong." And since then, he never talked about Islam anymore, but then he came back again. My point is that look at how the power of the media can direct the minds of the people about our faith. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us mercy and bless us all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله وأستغفر الله لعل ساعة الإجابة. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله لا نبي بعده صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Brothers and sisters, the next point that we must take into our consideration very, very seriously in facing this tremendous challenge is about being persistent in our struggle to continue to walk the path. Circumstances happen. It can be to our side or against us. Challenges happen no matter what. It can be white, can be black. Colors change. But this life is a challenge. هو الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. The question is not about ليبلوكم. It is happening. أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون. We are going to be challenged. أم حسبتم أن تدخلوا الجنة ولما يعلم الله الذين جاهدوا منكم ويعلم الصابرين. We are going to be challenged. There's no doubt about that. And those challenges can be in the different manifestations. Can be sweet, can be bitter. Can be good, can be bad. Can be white, can be black. The question is how to face those challenges. And that's why the Holy Quran says, أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. And the word amala here is how to respond to each and every challenge that occurs in front of our eyes. Brothers and sisters, The Holy Quran then says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا هَلْ أَدُلُّكُمْ عَلَى تِجَارَةٍ تُنْجِيكُم مِّنْ عَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ تُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَتُجَاهِدُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ بِأَمْوَالِكُمْ وَأَنفُسِكُمْ ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Muslims must not be shaken by the misunderstanding of the people about what does it mean to be struggling in the path of Allah. For us Muslims, jihad is such positive and constructive. It is about life, it is about development, it is about civilization. Not otherwise. Jihad is understood as destruction of civilization. So what is the next that we have to do? We cannot avoid that we must continue the struggle. What is the struggle, my brothers and sisters? Be contributors to your society. How to be positive contributing to the United States of America mainstream society? Become the mainstream society. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as the Holy Quran mentioned, that he was appointed as a messenger from among his people. هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم. Why منهم? It was not a Chinese appointed messenger in Mecca. Why? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was appointed a messenger in Mecca in the beginning from among his people, to be a part of his mainstream. So Muslim Americans, whatever the backgrounds that you came from, you must consider this America is your home. And be mainstream. Do your job. Do your part. Show them that we are not here just to take, we are here to contribute. And Americans are contributing positively. In New York, we have approximately 1 million Muslims out of 8 million and so population in New York City. We have over 1,000 Muslim officers. We have 130,000 Muslim students in the public school system. That's why Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha have become official holidays in New York. That is the way we change. Now we are struggling to have halal food in the schools and halal food in the prison systems. And we must continue struggling. That is the meaning of jihad in America for Muslims. It is constructive. It is contributing to the society, economically, culturally, politically. Be part of the political system, my brothers and sisters. Don't say why this is being elected, while you are just sitting at home. You don't register, you don't elect, and then you complain when someone is being got elected. That's not the right way. Brothers and sisters, finally, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَأَيَّدْنَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا عَلَىٰ عَدُوِّهِمْ فَأَصْبَحُوا ظَاهِرِينَ. At the end of Surah Al-Fatih, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to keep being optimistic, to be optimistic. Optimism must be there. No matter how challenging we are facing, we must be optimistic that at the end of the day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy for us, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make this community a successful community, inshallah. وأقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله فاستغفر اللهم يا آمين. اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك ويا مصرف القلوب صرف قلوبنا لطاعتك. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز من أعز الدين واجعلنا منهم رب العالمين. اللهم انصر كل من جاهد في سبيلك واجعلنا منهم رب العالمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. بفضل سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. وأقم الصلاة.